as you progress up the ladder, so to speak, in a legal career, then you're handling the cases, you're calling the strategy, you're drafting the high level stuff when you're in a firm. And then I left in 2003 and started my own practice. And there were, for quite a while, I had a paralegal, but I never had it. I never grew the practice because I had hit a point then where I'd left a work situation that I really wasn't happy in. And I don't know if you've ever had a boss like this, where you're like, this person is so toxic and this environment is so bad that I don't know if I hate what I do or if I just can't stand working in this environment. And so I left that environment and started my own thing. And when I did that, I was like, I don't want to grow this and then not want to be a lawyer, because I didn't want to like have people dependent on me for their livelihood. And then I'm like stuck in it.
I'm over.
Right?
Yeah. You're stuck in
it.
it.
Because I would have been the person who stayed stuck, because I would have felt bad if I fired people or whatever. So I did not grow ever. I kept it solo, which was feasible in the kind of work I was doing. But it also can be really hard because everything's on you.
Yeah.
And even if you have a paralegal, which I did for part of the time, or you have other staff, you don't necessarily, you're still calling the shots. You're still kind of the responsible party. You can't walk away and let them do everything.
Exactly.
And so that gets difficult. So that happened. And in about 2014, I ran for public office. And that was really a result of, I was a very, very involved volunteer in some local stuff. It started as, why don't I join the Chamber of Commerce to meet people and help my business grow? And that turned into being asked to be on committees, and it just got more and more involved, right? So what you're seeing here, this is the pathway to burnout, okay? I leave a law firm where I had support staff, way more, because I was in a bigger environment. I start my own practice. I have a bare bones staff. I start doing volunteer work in the community, which isn't just showing up once a month. It turns into, I'm on the board, and then I'm appointed to a local committee for something. And, and meanwhile, I'm starting to really like the stuff I'm doing in the public realm. So I was like, maybe if I get elected, it's a part-time job here in Miami.
What did you run for?
I ran for a city commission seat in the city of Miami.
Okay.
And, so I figured if I do that, then I can do that and then ease my way out of practicing law. Right. And I lost. And it was devastating personally. It was devastating from a perspective of, and this is where like the knife in your heart kind of thing. And to me, this was my most burned out period. And I think this is why. I really gave that my all. I was still working in my law practice too, but I wasn't able to do much. So I wasn't making much money for like an entire year. And then I came out of that period, and I had people who had encouraged me to run, not supported me in the run because the person I ran against was threatening their businesses and this sort of thing.
Jeez.
And then who came right back to me after the election was over and wanted me to do things for them again. Like, and it was like, I got a letter in the mail that wasn't signed that said, you need to help our neighborhood. And it was 2 weeks after the election, and it was because the person who I ran against had made promises and then wasn't returning their phone calls.
Go figure.
Right?
Go figure.
So anyway, but that led to me kind of having this point where I was just like, wow, what did I do? Right? I'm gutted financially. I've worked my butt off. I mean, I've worked like early in the morning to late at night, pretty much every day, whether it was fundraising or it was in my law practice or it was in these volunteer things. And then I hit this point, and I've got people literally asking for things from me who've been overtly unkind to me in some circumstances. And I'm like, whoa, and what am I doing? Right. And I got really depressed and really upset, and I got really like resentful and angry, and I really was just kind of like, I hate my world, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the people in it. I don't like what I'm doing. If I could have just ditched everything and gone hiking in Alaska, I would have, gladly hung out with bears. It was like,
It's peaceful. It's more peaceful.
yeah, right.
You know what?
So
I
anyway,
I wanted to ask you a follow-up if you don't mind before we keep going.
absolutely.
So when you were taking on all of these things, like I'm guilty of this, and I think this isn't going to take much time. I'd enjoy this. And then all of a sudden the things you enjoy, you don't enjoy anymore. They become another thing on your to-do list. Like when you were going through all of this, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to, invest my money in it, all of this stuff, and have your practice, and you had this plan. Like, were you noticing any of these symptoms? Like, was burnout even on your radar, or were you just thinking, oh, I'm tired, I'm doing a lot? And
not during it.
Okay.
Like for me, it was, and this is where I found this has happened a few times where there's been times where I got kind of burned out. A lot of times it's not in the throes of the really hard work, because you're just pushing through then, right? It's when you have a second to rest and then you just crash. Because, you think about it, it's kind of like, I know that you're into holistic health. I've noticed this with health too. If you put too much stress on yourself for a long time, it's almost like when you allow yourself to have this mental break for a little while, like you think, okay, now I can relax. Yeah. That's when you get the cold.
Yeah.
Right? Or whatever.
That's
it's
100%
like then all
accurate.
of a sudden your immune system's shut down. And that's when you get sick. And I think it's kind of the same with burnout. Like you're going along like you're in Groundhog Day.
Sometimes I literally say that every morning when I wake up. I'm like, it's Groundhog Day again. I say that out loud.
And that sucks. Yeah. Right? Like, because you start feeling like you don't feel what you're experiencing. You're not enjoying what you should be enjoying. I withdrew from my friends big time. Too. I didn't want to see people. Nick, I had a girlfriend die from breast cancer and I didn't know she was sick. And it was because she had called me like 3 times and I'd assumed that she was calling to invite. She always had these parties at her house and it wasn't always people I wanted to hang out with. And I just I didn't return her calls. I mean, normally I would have at least returned her call. And then I went to a party about 8-10 months later at somebody's house. And I said, hey, I'm surprised Mary Jo isn't here. And she says, Michelle, Mary Jo's dead. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, it was
one
of
these things. You were going
these
through
things.
The emotions and not aware of what was happening. And she and her husband had been couple friends with me and my husband, and we'd gotten divorced. So there was a little bit of that where there wasn't some of those people they disappear on you. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't think anything of it. And that happened. But it was like, what the F, right? And it's you really don't think about how these things can happen.
Thank you for listening to this clip from the full episode of Eyes Wide Open. Please like and subscribe for daily clips and new episodes that drop every Tuesday. I appreciate you.